Hey, I'm Josh Rultenberg. Alex Rodriguez has had a memorable baseball career, from being a three-time MVP and sitting fourth on the all-time home run list to admittedly using performance-enhancing drugs and blaming everyone else in the process but himself. But now A-Rod's playing days are coming to an end. The New York Yankees announcing Sunday Rodriguez will play in his final game Friday, then assume a position as a special advisor and instructor with the team. Following Friday's game, A-Rod will be unconditionally released from his player contract to sign a new deal with the club through December 31st, 2017. This morning, an emotional Alex Rodriguez on the decision. The New York Jets were 1 quarter away from making the postseason in 2015. One lousy quarter.
Fitzpatrick picked off. It's over. A painful ending.
But even defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson knows the Jets fell short way before the season finale.
Last year, of course, 10-6 wasn't good enough, and some games we came out flat.
Wilkerson says this year from the get-go, head coach Todd Bowles is not letting the team's wheels stop spinning.
One thing, just focus on just making sure we're playing fast.
But it'll take some time for Mo to catch up after suffering a broken leg last season.
Slow process for me. I'm just going to keep working hard, rehabbing the leg and doing whatever trainers and the strength coach got for me.
In the meantime, he likes what he sees from his defense.
We could be one of the best in the league as long as we keep pushing each other. And besides just the 11 starters, you know, we got to have backups coming in and playing like starters.
Offensively, the Jets were 11th in points per game last season.
Fitzpatrick in trouble, gets away, throws ends zone. It's caught, and it's a touchdown.
They have an opportunity to be even better with starting quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick back under center. That is, if he can limit his mistakes.
It's great if he can throw a deep ball and complete it and everything else like that, and nobody takes any stock into the checkdowns. It's just about him making the right decisions and commanding the offense.
And if Fitzpatrick can show Fitz magic instead of being Fitz tragic, it could be a memorable year for Gang Green. Either way, Wilkerson is chomping at the bit to get the season going.
I can't wait to get out there with my brothers.
And another guy who can't wait to get out there is running back Matt Forte, who the Jets signed in free agency this offseason. Forte has been battling a lingering hamstring issue that head coach Todd Bowles says will keep him out of the preseason opener. As for Wilkerson, he says he'll be ready to go come week 1 of the regular season.
Hey, we're ready to go, G-Man.
The New York Giants will have a different look this season.
That new life, that sense of new growth, a sense of new beginning, everybody's just really hungry.
Starving for a playoff run after missing the postseason for the 6th time in 7 years in 2015.
Tom Coughlin is always the same.
The man who led the Giants to 2 Super Bowl wins is out after 12 seasons, and former offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo is now running the show and making each player earn their spot.
We love competition. That's the best way to get better, and we feel that we've created some good competition.
The organization certainly paid for it, spending nearly $200 million to upgrade the league's worst defense.
I'm not going to sell no dreams or anything like that.
Defensive end Olivier Vernon, who signed a 5-year, $85 million deal, knows you can never have too many weapons.
The more veteran leadership we can have on the team, the better we're going to be to go along and help us get into the postseason.
But the offense has to do its part too. The Giants have a proven quarterback, a star he can rely on. However, Eli Manning needs time to make things happen. Second-year left tackle Eric Flowers thinks his unit is up for the task.
It takes time to be able to work together and be comfortable, and, you know, the best lines always been together for years.
So if the O-line can hold and the D can rise up,
The sky's the limit. You know, everybody got potential, man. It's what we're going to do with it.
Now, while Friday was an easy practice, Coach McAdoo said that Saturday is going to be the complete opposite. It's going to be long, physical, fast, and in full pads as the Giants prepare for its first preseason game next Friday against the Dolphins at MetLife Stadium. Hey, I'm Josh Rultenberg with your sports. We're live here in Cooperstown, site of the National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony, where earlier today, 2 polar opposite legends were immortalized in the sport of baseball. On one hand, you have Ken Griffey Jr., who is basically destined to be here, and on the other, you have Mike Piazza, who wasn't even supposed to be drafted.
About the only thing we have in common as ball players are 2 arms and 2 legs.
In front of the second largest crowd on record, Mike Piazza and Ken Griffey Jr. were enshrined into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Piazza became the second New York Met to be inducted, and as a 62nd round selection, the latest draft choice in history. Griffey, better known as Junior or the Kid, is the first Seattle Mariner and only #1 overall pick to have a place in Cooperstown.
The only way I ever thought I would be here with you is if I bought a ticket.
I stand up here humbled and overwhelmed. The last couple months have been a blur.
Both took time to thank their families, especially their fathers.
My father's faith in me, often greater than my own, is the single most important factor of me being inducted into this Hall of Fame.
Mike for his dad, teaching him how to hit in his backyard. Also for telling Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda how well he could swing, which in turn led to Los Angeles drafting him as a favor.
We made it, Dad. The race is over. Now it's time to smell the roses.
And Griffey not only played with his dad, Ken Sr. in Seattle, but also became the first father-son duo to hit back-to-back home runs in the same game.
Who taught me how to play this game, but more importantly, he taught me how to be a man.
Each player also saluted the two teams and the fans they were proud to play for.
We didn't get off on the best foot, but we both stayed with it. At first, I was pressing to make you cheer and wasn't doing the job. You didn't take it easy on me, and I am better because of it.
Out of my 22 years, I learned that one team will treat you the best, and that's your first team. I'm damn proud to be a Seattle Mariner.
Gotta love the fact that he put the hat on backwards at the end. I mean, after all, that really was his calling card in the game of baseball. Impressed by both of them, the level of humility and the level of emotion that they both shared. They were both great players. Even better to know now that they were both better people.
Josh, they'd have to be elated.
Oh, absolutely, Liana. I mean, you know this kid as well as any. He's as humble as any at that. He was clearly happy when he got picked. His parents were very emotional. Ian was sure to thank them afterwards. But now, this kid moves forward and he gets to follow in the footsteps of Hall of Famers Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz. Shenendehowa senior pitcher Ian Anderson waited just 24 minutes for the best announcement of his life.
With the third selection in the 2016 MLB draft, the Atlanta Braves select Ian Anderson, the right-handed pitcher from Shenendehowa High School in Clifton Park, New York.
It's just something that you dream about, and to see it finally, come true, and probably even better than I dreamed about. It's special.
Anderson says he knew about 25 minutes before the draft the Braves would take him, and that Atlanta's always been interested. But it picked up after he threw 16 strikeouts in the state regional last weekend.
And my friend, you come front and center. So move over just a touch so you see some Braves.
And because Ian was taken third overall, he's now the highest draft pick in Section 2 history, something he says he's extremely proud of.
It just goes to show you how good the baseball is in Section 2 and how much better it's even getting.
That's wonderful. I'm so excited for him.
I know parents just want to see their kids' dreams come true, and your kid just had his dream come true. I mean, what does that mean to you guys?
He's worked so hard to get here, and to see this happen tonight and unfold like this, it was just incredible.
I'm really looking forward to watching him go forward.
I know you grew up a Red Sox fan, but did you have an NL East team? Were the Braves ever like a favorite of yours?
Not really, no. But, I mean, I guess now they're my favorite team. I think you have to say that, so I'm excited.
Of course you gotta say that. The Braves are, of course, now his favorite team that there is. Now, Ian says he's gonna celebrate this tonight, and then he's gonna celebrate it tomorrow. But remember, he still has a game at the high school level coming up this weekend, Saturday in Binghamton, as Shen plays in the state semifinals. One more thing about tonight that I thought was really cool. He says that he was really glad that he got to share this night with his twin brother, Ben, and he says he would not be surprised if his name gets called in the MLB draft. Live in Secaucus, Josh Rultenberg, News 10, ABC.
Yeah, that would be real cool. Now, I hope that in the next couple days, Ian can get a... News 10 ABC's Josh Rultenberg spoke with Jimmer after the game and has more from MSG. Josh?
Well, the New York Knicks might not have won the basketball game, but Jimmer Fredette won the night. All evening long, the fans were chanting, "We won." Jimmer, he didn't get his chance until the final 2 minutes, but when he did, he made it count with his one shot.
It was fun to be out there and play, and obviously a tough game for us tonight. The Raptors played a great game.
You're a New York kid, you grew up here, and just what it was like to hear Madison Square Garden, the whole garden chanting, "We won Jimmer, we won Jimmer."
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I appreciate the support and the fans and everybody that, is out there supporting. They definitely appreciate it, but I try to just focus on the game and focus on what's going on the court, and then hopefully can help this team in some way. And, I'm looking for that niche and be able to show them I can help, and I'll just keep working as hard as I possibly can every day.
And Jimmer's one shot continues on Wednesday when the Knicks head to Indiana to face the Pacers. Then they'll have 3 more games right here at Madison Square Garden, and we'll see what Jimmer can do or if he's headed back to the D-League. At Madison Square Garden, Josh Rultenberg, News 10, ABC. Well, if tonight's game is any indication of how things have been going in the Mets and Phillies series, then the Mets should have no problem tonight. New York has won 10 straight games over Philadelphia. They're going for a franchise record 11th tonight with Jonathan Nice on the mound, and that's good news because the Phillies have not beaten Jonathan Nice since 2013.
All right, here now to tell us how extra inning games on a Tuesday night stink is Josh.
Free baseball. A lot of free baseball, guys. And get this, 29 and 30, that's the amount of years it's been since the New York Mets and Kansas City Royals, respectively, have won a World Series championship. And, about 6 or 7 hours ago, both clubs taking the first step towards ending their droughts. Now, the Dark Knight Matt Harvey getting the start for the Mets. And in his career on 6+ days rest, he had an ERA under 1.5 coming in. Someone tell that to Alcides Escobar. He skies one to deep center. It hits off Yoenis Cespedes and gets away. Escobar with the first inside the park homer in a World Series game since 1929. Royals up 1-0. Go to the 8th, tied at 3. Wilmer Flores, who was traded and then not traded back in July, chops one at Eric Hosmer. He can't handle it. Juan Lagares scores. That put the Mets up 4-3. Bottom 9, New York brings in Jeurys Familia, but Alex Gordon keeps the door open. The straightaway center shot. We're headed to extras. And in the bottom of the 14th inning, Eric Hosmer, who had that error in the 8th, going to redeem himself with this sac fly. It's just deep enough to get Escobar home. The Royals win the longest game won innings-wise, the second longest duration-wise in World Series history, 5-4.
This is a News 10 ABC special report.
News 10 ABC's Josh Rultenberg standing by live at the track right now with Naira CEO Chris Kay. Josh, tell us about Faro and the race.
Trishna, as I was just saying, this has turned into an historic day here at the Saratoga Racecourse. There have been a lot of champions to come through here, but I'm not sure that a place has ever seen this. American Pharoah will be here next Saturday. It's going to be quite a day next Saturday. It's already hectic on a Travers Day, but now we have arguably the greatest racehorse of all time, American Pharoah, coming here to Saratoga. It's going to be quite the event. If he wins, it's just the roof of this place. There is no roof, but if there was, it'd just be blown off completely. Trishna, I can't wait to be here next Saturday. It is going to be an historic event. Back to you.
You are watching News 10 ABC.
Welcome back, everyone. The Siena men's basketball team is having one of its best seasons in recent memory, despite some challenges along the way. And one reason why the team hasn't fallen apart is because of one special player. News 10 ABC's Josh Rultenberg joining us live in the studio right now with his special report. Josh.
Trishna, if you follow Siena basketball, you know Troy native Javion Ogunyemi is having a career year on the court. But what you might not know is Ogunyemi has had more happen to him off the court in the last 4 years than most of us deal with in a lifetime. Now, recently, Javion took me back to Troy to show and tell me how he's managed to stay on the right path.
It was just tough because I just felt like I just couldn't get a break.
You can see a person's physical strength by simply looking at their physique. But what you can't see is what drives someone internally to keep pushing forward. Siena men's basketball player Javion Ogunyemi is a prime example.
My mother, she's my motivation, and I know she wouldn't want me to be down here moping around.
So instead of moping around, Ogunyemi's focusing on school and basketball. Javion's journey began in this 2nd Street apartment in Troy with his mother, Thomasina. As a single mom, he says she worked twice as hard to make sure he stayed out of trouble.
She always wanted to know where I was at, what I was doing.
But he also remembers one night the two shared in high school when she told him she had lung cancer.
I remember she called me and she was crying, and I couldn't figure out what she was crying for. And then, she finally told me, and I remember I just put my head down. I was real sad.
Going through that as a young kid, what was that like?
Just to see her body get weaker and weaker, it was probably one of the hardest parts.
Javion made sure he was there for his mother, even though he could have gone anywhere as a highly sought-after recruit. And that's why Troy Athletic Director Paul Reinisch says Ogunyemi chose Siena.
I don't think there was ever a moment in Jay's mind that he could ever picture himself not here or close to his mom.
Javion pictured his mom beating the cancer and watching him play, because there was a point in time where she was getting better. But weeks before Javion would leave for school, his dream was suddenly shattered.
She was up moving for a little while, but then there was like a couple hours where she wasn't really moving. She was just sitting down, and one of my aunt's friends at the time, who was a nurse, when she came in, she checked her pulse, and she realized she didn't have no pulse, and that's kind of just how we found out.
After losing the biggest part of his life, Javion admits he struggled, and Reiner says he could sense it for several years.
He was hurting here. I mean, you know, everywhere you walk around for him is a reminder of his mom, and that's a hard thing.
He's putting on the greatest front that he's good, but I knew the relationship that they had, and I know deep down inside he's devastated and crushed.
So Ogunyemi felt he needed to escape and transferred to Boston University. But one night this past spring, he received another devastating phone call, this time from his aunt, telling him his cousin, 18-year-old Tyreek Prince, was shot and killed back home.
You've been through this with your mother, and now you find this out.
I think that in life, you know, a lot of tough things happen, but God sets a path for you in life, and you just go with it.
That path led Javion back to Siena.
The fact that I just couldn't get to one of my family members that quick was one of the things that was bothering me a lot.
You could have given up easily. You know, what happened to your mom, what happened to your cousin? Instead, here you are, you're still on the right path.
You know, I think giving up on something is like the easy thing to do in life. To keep striving and try to work for something you want is what's hard to do, and that was the route I decided to take.
Trishna, one thing that I've been told is that the only thing his mother wanted was to make sure that he stayed away from the streets and on the straight and narrow. And clearly, you just take a look at the piece and you can see Javion has not only done that, but he has exceeded what probably were her expectations. He's a tremendous basketball player. He's a tremendous person, first and foremost. And really, honestly, the kid, the sky's the limit for him, honestly. He's a really good kid, and I wish him nothing but the best moving forward.
Very inspirational. Thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.